I have been working on a project with Special Olympics called Spread the Word to End the World. Just so you know, the words retard and retarded. Many people use these words just to mean something silly or stupid. No matter how or why you say it, it hurts people who have a disability. I may have Down syndrome, but I am a human being with feelings, just like everyone else. Special Olympics athletes and their families are hurt by people who carelessly call someone a retard. It is really no different than using a racial or a religious slur. Please use respect and treat others as you would like to be treated. There will be a Special Olympic, a Spread the Word to End the World event on campus in March. In the meantime, anyone can take the pledge to stop using the R word at www.rword.org. Thanks for listening.
This is Kelly Schreiner. She's 26 years old and is diagnosed with Down syndrome. She currently works with Special Olympics year-round as well as a few side jobs during the week. Kelly works at Longhorn Steakhouse once a week and volunteers at her elementary school, Greenbrier Elementary School, with her former kindergarten and first grade teacher. She also volunteers once a week at the Down Syndrome Organization Indiana and finishes her week taking a special education photography class. In high school, Kelly worked for Special Olympics Unify and traveled to Washington, D.C. 4 or 5 times with an SO partner for global awareness and special needs. She went to teacher conferences and promoted inclusion within the schools. Before graduation, Kelly was presented with an opportunity to join a pilot special ed program at Indiana University, Purdue University, Indianapolis, where she attended for 3 years. The students were incredibly inclusive. For example, Kelly joined the basketball team and it was a huge ego-boosting experience. Not only did the team let her play, but they also cheered for her, passed her, included her like anyone else on the team. For this assignment, I interviewed Kelly's mom, Pat Schreiner, who shared her experience with special education. What was the overall family experience with schools and special education? Overall, very good experiences. Definitely some frustrations with testing. They were too focused on numbers and not enough on the individuals. Tests were not a good reflection on how Kelly performed. For example, they would show her a picture of a dresser and ask her to identify the object. At home, Kelly did not have a dresser. I personally put her clothes in the laundry room cabinet, so she did not know the word dresser. Therefore, on the test, she answered incorrect. Private speech lessons were very important to Kelly. In a normal speech therapy class, there are 4 or 5 kids that are taking the class together. Therefore, individually, each kid would not get very much out of it. Overall, I had a great experience. However, I wish there had been more inclusion. Tests were modified from regular students and not specific to the individual needs of the special ed student. Did their family feel included in their child's educational experience? Yes, I was definitely included. Part of that took effort on my end. You can be as included or not included depending on the teacher. In elementary school, I went in every day and discussed with the teachers what was on her homework and what she needed to do at home. In high school, however, I was not as much involved. I still got some feedback, but I did not talk to the teachers as often, sometimes not even once a week. It was very individual based on the teacher's needs. One teacher was very involved with me about Kelly, but some other teachers I never even talked to. Sometimes she had an aide that went with her to class or partnered her with a classmate for note-taking, which was very helpful. Kelly joined the regular classes because there was such behavior issues in the special ed classes. Math was the only special ed class that Kelly had to take. How was the IEP process for them? It usually went pretty well. Pretty good about asking parents' opinions on what they needed from their child. The problem I had with them was that they would promise things they could not produce. For example, when Kelly started high school, they had said that someone would be there specifically for Kelly to escort her to each class. On the night before school started, they called me and told me that this could not happen. Fortunately, Kelly's homeroom teacher would occasionally be able to help Kelly and get her to her class. Overall, my experience was good, but I did get frustrated when people put assumptions on what Kelly was capable of. For example, I had to petition for Kelly to stay in her reading program because the teacher decided that Kelly would plateau and not progress in the program. I had to present at a meeting with all the information regarding Down syndrome and reading ability to fight and win the battle. I did in the end, but it took an enormous amount of research and effort. What suggestions can be offered for improvement? My advice for parents is to be really involved, and if you don't stop by the classroom, you really don't know what's going on because your kids are not able to give you detail on what went on during their day. My advice for teachers is to not judge a student before you get to know them. Provide friendship for that student and encourage them to make friends. The more inclusive and supportive a student feels, the more they are going to progress.